Love it.
Welcome back to another episode of the On Your Left Startlist Power Rankings, the official pre-race show where we break down the upcoming pro start list in 30 minutes or less. Today, we're headed back to Germany for Challenge Roth. My name is Connor Bollinger, and I'm joined by my co-host, pro triathlete Evan Price, and the legend himself, intern Blake Pfeiffer. And our guest today is an Aussie 15-time Ironman champion, one of the best cyclists we've ever seen, 2005 Challenge Roth champion, and a highly respected personality and commentator in this sport, the great and powerful Belinda Granger.
Oh my God.
We do intros here, good.
Every week. Every Monday we should do this. It's going to pep me up for the week.
Belinda's got the energy for this. There we go.
It's only downhill from here.
I know. Now, this is how me, Blake, and Bolly dress for every single one. Is what do you, Blake? Like, are you 10% German, Blake, or something like that?
I'm a lot German, actually. You ever see
You're
my
very
last
German?
name? Yeah,
that is true. Pfeiffer, you are.
German.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
I must say, you boys look very, 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 very German. You would fit right in, for sure.
There we go.
Thank you. My brother stole this from Oktoberfest. I didn't steal it. So.
That's awesome.
All right, so we're going to kick it off with the women's. Let me get the timer here. It's a tight 30. We're going to do 15 and 15. All right, so ready, set, and the timer is on.
Am I ready?
Let's kick it to Belinda here. Do we got any favorites for the top tier?
Now, let me think for just a second. Come on. I mean, she's the greatest in the world right now, isn't she? Laura Phillips.
She
I
is.
mean, what she did in Hamburg was, I'd like to say extraordinary, but it was extraordinary. But did we expect it? Absolutely. I wouldn't expect anything less from her. She is an absolute perfectionist. And so is her coach.
I think with her performance this year, she is lining up to have one of the greatest seasons. Let's cross our fingers here. So I think she's knocking on heaven's door. What do you guys think?
I think she's alone at the top two in this field. I don't think you can put anybody next to her here because I completely agree with you, Belinda. She something has to go wrong for her to lose this race.
Yep.
Something has to go drastically wrong. And even if something goes drastically wrong, I still think she could run anybody down. She could get a penalty or a flat and still win this race.
Flat tire. It reminds me of Chrissy Wellington that year in Kona. You know, when she got the flat and everyone thought, oh my God, the race is over. But
runs everybody down. Yeah, exactly.
I think she needs like 3 things to go wrong for her to lose it.
Yeah. I think 2 is not
3
enough.
Strikes, you might be out, but even then, she could probably still win.
Yeah.
All right, second tier here. Who is the second echelon in this?
This is where it gets crowded. I think is where. So when you're looking at returners from last year's top 10, I think is an interesting. Laura, we forgot this. Laura got beat by an absolute stellar day for Man Hog last year. But I mean, really, we're like going down this list. There's not a lot of strong returners coming back to this, but there are a lot of names. I know Blake has dug into the stats here that are coming in.
I still think it'll be a dogfight for the podium.
I do too. I agree. Mm-hmm.
Who's your Belinda, if you're looking down this list from, let's say, a North American fan's point of view, who do we not know that you think is going to actually factor into this top 5? Like, who's the name that a North American might not pick out of this list?
So the interesting thing, and I think you're right, I think it's going to be an absolute dogfight for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And depending on the day, it could be anyone's. But there's one name, well, there's actually a few names, but the first one, obviously Nikki Bartlett. Experience-wise, I think Nikki's coming into this race. She's never been to Roth before, so she's a newbie. That can go either way. Whether it can go that she's just going to be so taken by the crowds that it's just going to drive her to do really well, or it can be overwhelming. It can go the opposite way, and it can be just all too much. But knowing Nikki and the sort of person she is, I think she'll thrive on it, and I think that she is a very good chance to take either 2nd or 3rd or podium spot.
Okay. Does she now? Where's her training based out of, Belinda? Does anybody know? I know she's British, but does she train in Britain, or does she expose herself to some heat or anything like that typically?
I think she's predominantly done her training for this prep at home.
Okay.
But those that don't know, Europe's been having the most insane summer ever. It
hot.
is so hot.
I know.
I've been here since May, and the first 2 races were bloody freezing. Like the championship in Samarin was 11 degrees and horrific.
Oh my! I didn't realize it was that cold.
I know, it was horrendous. I don't know how the athletes did it. And then St. Polden was a beautiful day, but still cold. And then from that day onwards, it's just been a heat wave, and it's been mid-30s wherever I've gone, whether it be the UK. I'm here in Austria right now, and it's the hottest I've ever been in Austria. It's insane.
I'm going to get a lot of crap for underplaying how warm it is, but I still stand on that the dew point's not that crazy. It's still floating. It's still floating in that 60 to 65 range, which I don't think is like, it's not Malaysia, Belinda. You know that. It's at least not Malaysia. So.
You know what? We were talking about that, and it's all in your mindset, because when you go to Malaysia or you go to Thailand, you expect those temperatures.
Yeah.
And so you prepare for them mentally, physically. Yeah. But when you come to Europe, you just,
Germany in June, you're not expecting that. Yeah.
And you see the Euros drop like flies. They don't like
especially the Brits.
It really doesn't
the
suit
Brits.
them.
I'm a little worried for the Brits. Yeah.
All right, so to round off the second tier here, or to add rather, who else are we throwing in here? I see a couple names here that I would like to throw in. I think Grace in there. Now, here is my hot take here, just because I'm a big is who's coming in hot. Nina Darren's got 100% podium rate this year so far. Mm-hmm. How do we feel about her stacking up to this level of female competitors? Do we put her in a 2 tier, or is she a 3 tier, still trying to prove herself?
Her third at New Zealand's appealing to me.
Yeah. I think she's in tier 2. I mean, Torsten Rader's got her down the list a little. And I mean, obviously he works off stats and stats only, but just looking at her, she's been doing a lot of training or the final prep with her sister, Julie. And I think she's in a really good headspace. So I would definitely put Nina and her training partner, Alana Siffert, in that tier 2. Okay. Now, Alana Siffert, she's the youngest in the field. She's 23 years of age. She's got the least experience over full distance than any other athlete racing, apart from Grace Tech. But I rate her. I really rate her. The last 2 races have been spectacular. Yeah. And she's won them. She's coming again, just like Nina, she's coming in really good form, mentally and physically.
And if she's in that training environment, I mean, that whole group is hot right now. So that's, I mean, they're training the house down, I'm sure. So she's going to come in confident then.
For some reason, Canva doesn't like Grace Tech's photo, but she is in there. You just can't see it. I might have to update this, but she's in there.
She's disappearing in the background.
She's so tiny. She's only a tiny bit.
Exactly. Very arrow. Going on. She's very arrow, yeah.
All right. Do we see any other 2 tiers in the dog fighting for that podium?
No. I think next tier down, I've got a few that I think will be in that next tier, but I think that's it for tier 2.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of question marks now. There's a lot of girls with a lot of DNFs. I think
there's some high DNF rates there. Yeah. Kind of like boomer bust athletes in tier 3, basically.
The boomer bust category.
Yeah.
All right, we're cruising, guys. We're 7 minutes in.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're making good
progress. We're doing all right, because I talk up to way too much for this.
It's almost like it's your job.
Belinda's keeping this on. This is perfect. So,
oh God.
So the name I was trying to look up some results on too, and Belinda, you might know her a little better than us, is Elena Siffert, the Swiss. So
she's in tier 2. We threw her.
Oh, she is. My bad. Yeah. She was the training partner. She's a train. Yeah. She said she's 23 too.
She's 23.
Okay, she's
23.
Yeah.
And can I just?
That's a podium pick for me.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. And last year, I think she had a total of 9 podiums and 4 wins last year. So
that's what I'm seeing here.
It's insane.
That's
and this year alone, she's already done really well. She's
ranked 33rd.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
She's good, and she loves to race.
Quietly way up there.
I was looking at her results here. Justine, was it Matthew?
Matthew,
She definitely is a Matthew. Yeah, that's a boomer bust in my opinion. You got a handful of DNFs and then a handful of podiums. I mean, which one's going to show up today? I'm not sure if she's one of those types where, if something goes wrong, she pulls out, but that's a boomer bust.
What happened to her in Kona? I know that was she DNF'd in Kona too.
Yeah, she's
was
a tough one.
Was that heat related, or was it? But she does well in Cozumel there, so.
Yeah, so I don't know if it is heat related. I think
she
has had a few injury issues, so many athletes. So possibly going in with a little bit of an injury. But Justine, when she's on, she's on. But when she's off, walks off the field. So
Yeah.
it depends what Justine we get on race day, to be honest.
Blake, who's the female who came third at Lanzarote? I think that might be a 2-tier in my opinion, or do we throw her down here? I mean,
Who was third?
that was less than a month ago.
Where I have so many notes. Who was it?
Third at Lanza. That is the German. Ooh, she is Bruni. She is a local.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, she's been good. Fourth at Serbanias this year too.
This is my
which
low
was an
key
insane race. So
this is my low key sleeper on this.
Absolutely.
Is she a 2-tier or is she a 3-tier?
Let's put her. I say we put her 3 because I think 3 is going to be a bit crowded here, which is good because I think that's plenty of people that can be battling for that top 5, maybe that 4th or 5th. Picking her for the podium's a little aggressive.
Okay.
Bruni was also 14th at Ironman World Championships, so I think very
she's
proven Ironman racer as well.
I'm gonna veto Evan on this. Anyone else? I think she's a 2-tier on this.
Yeah.
Anyone want to veto Evan?
She possibly could.
Blake's
no,
the swing vote.
I think two based on previous results.
There you go.
right.
That's the swing vote. That's the swing.
That's democracy, baby. We're solving it.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah, because she ran 3:04. That Lanza course, nobody here is right. But Belinda, was Lanzarote even a race when you were around? Like, did you ever do Lanzarote as a course?
No, it was a race. It was one of the originals, to be honest.
Okay,
but I never raced it.
It's a hard course, right? Like that's not an easy day out there.
Horrendously hard.
And very windy. I know it's like crazy wind conditions and all that.
Hot,
so
windy,
she's a tough athlete then.
That's exactly how you'd explain her. I watched her at Serbanias this year, and I must admit I didn't know a lot about her before that race. I watched her all day, and she just hung tough. And she's just this unassuming. When you see her, you don't think much about her. She's unassuming. She's a lovely, lovely girl, but you just don't think she's going to be up the pointy end of the field. But she is.
Anybody placing well at Serbanias this year is hard.
Unassuming and quietly tough is a dangerous
degrees.
combo, and I am so.
I think we have to throw Sid on this boomer bust. I mean, she's had a pretty solid St. George performance. Didn't she do an Ironman earlier this year? She came top 10 last year.
New Zealand, she was 7th.
Yeah,
9th at St. George, so she's up there.
Absolutely, she's
and she's podiumed at Roth before too. Blake, you put that was at 21
twice.
Like right out of the right out of the pandemic, she podiumed there. Yeah.
I also got to go back to
very consistent.
I got to go back to Bruni, all-time name. She's my favorite name on this list, Merle Bruni. Just an absolute powerhouse of a name.
It really is. That's such a strong German name.
That's a great name.
Put her in that. Put her just 3rd tier purely off name strength.
She's the equivalent to the Finn Grosse Fresse.
Yeah.
That's what was that trouble with last week?
Yeah.
All right, we are at 11 and a half minutes. Let's
thank you for that pronunciation, Belinda. You nailed that pronunciation.
DeBoer is another question mark for me that could be in that.
That's the other
tier.
one I was going to say. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But she is kind of a short course, is she
9th at Singapore T100.
So surviving Singapore 200 T100 means she can handle heat at least.
That's a result. Wait till we get to the men's, in my opinion, on that.
T100 to IM stretch. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
we know at least in a European field she can handle heat though if she goes and finishes Singapore decently well. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw Katerina Mariani down here with a what you got. Age group champion at Kona. Was it rookie pro season this year? Right, if I'm not mistaken.
Neo pro.
What you got, girl? Let's
I like it.
Let's see it.
She's already had some good results.
Who else is in there? There's another one that's coming from age group background. Is it Katharina Wolf or Danielle Fateau? Not Fateau.
Kathy Wolf's been racing for a while. She's actually the partner of Florian Angert.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So she can ride a bike then, right?
Yeah, she's good. She's good. She's done well before in long course as well. A little bit inconsistent. Had a fair bit of injury, so didn't do too much last year.
Stronger at IMs, at least from Blake's notes there. Blake, she's been pretty close to a sub-3 over the fly, hasn't she? Yeah.
We got 2 minutes. Okay. Ironman South Africa 6, 2 smaller Euro races. I'm looking at who's it right here? Carolyn.
Mm-hmm. No, that's Uderstad.
Oh, that's Uderstad. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, she was the 6th at South Africa.
Yeah.
That's a boomer bust. That is a boomer bust.
Yeah, and she's pretty solid across her IM results. She's consistently dancing in that top 10. Nothing. She's pretty solid all around. It doesn't look like there's a lot of she doesn't have a strong weapon, but she's another going to hang around all day. It looks like, and And if people start falling off in the heat, it's I'm gonna favor IM strength in Roth, where it's if it's a good conditions day, I think that's where you get some of the short course ladies that are gonna fly if the conditions are there. If it's gonna be that hot, kind of grind it out day, I mean, you got to go with some of these people who. Yeah, exactly. I mean, just tons of top 10 results in IM. You know how to handle it. You got your nutrition down then at least. Because that's one thing I'm worried about with like Darren or somebody like that is, okay, they're young. Do they get too aggressive? Do they get off on their nutrition? Does it get too hot? And then do they get in trouble? Yeah.
All right. Last category with the last, few women here.
Question marks.
Carolyn and what you got.
You want Carolyn and what you got?
She was
Carolyn Lee Ryder? Yeah.
9th at Roth in 2022.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming in 30 seconds. I kind of like what Belinda just said, bunch of question marks. I don't know if this is disrespectful, but I think we roll with it. We roll with it.
They're on the list. It's never disrespectful if you're on the list. And also,
that's very true.
I'm going to throw out too, in case she has a great day, because I do love her, is Danielle. Now, I'm going to butcher her last name always. Canadian. Fateau. Right? Yeah.
Fateau.
Yeah. You only pronounce 3 of the letters. So that's, but
Fateau.
She's, strong bike runner, really solid there all day. Another good, IM experienced racer. She's, been around the block quite a bit. So I think if it's a survive type day, I think she could slip into the top 12.
There you go.
Not
Evan.
quite top 10. I'm going to say top 12.
I like it.
Wait around it. Going to the men's, we are 15 minutes and 30 seconds in, folks. We are cruising. Here we go. What a melting pot of talent do we have here? How did you assemble this start list? And are we going to see anyone added this week to the start list?
Well, that is the $1 million question, my friend. Exactly.
Who pulls out of Frankfurt and who shows up at Roth is going to be the question.
I was talking to Felix today, and actually yesterday, exactly about this. Last year it was Bradley Weiss. I think was it last year or the year before that? Yeah, he had a flat tire mechanical in Frankfurt, so of course we get the call. And you know what? The greatest thing that I love about Felix is he's willing and able. I mean, most racers say, no, we're shut, you're out, bad luck. Yep. But he's like, well, you know what? If these guys had some bad luck, we've got a race going. We don't mind if they come in, and he welcomes them with open arms, and I think it's great.
Before we start this real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Adra Labs for supporting the podcast. Check them out, adralabs.com. That's ADDRA labs.com. Recovery upgraded some great protein bars. Use code ONYERLEFT25 for 25% off. All right, so who is going to be tier 1 here for the men's?
Oh, man.
I'll tell you why this is hard, because every single athlete on this list is either never done one before, but he's a brilliant athlete, but who bloody knows how they're going to go over full distance, or they're brilliant long distance athletes, but they're coming in with a bit of a question mark over the head. That is the biggest problem I have.
Exactly. I could not put it that better.
This is how I'm going to tier this almost. I said this in the group chat yesterday. We're almost in a protect this house, aka protect this distance mentality with you got Dreets, Arnott's, Laidlow, and Matt Hansen. Do they let these short course debut guys come in here and rule the roost? Or because I think Matt Hansen can overcome a 9-minute deficit off the bike at a race like this.
Yeah.
So do we
know for sure from these names I know we've added to the list, do we know for sure Skipper, Tor Madsen, Grossefries, and Cam Werf are coming? Do we know how sure we have those 4 names?
So this is the funny thing. So the athletes that have a shitty go of it in Frankfurt may ring up and ask to do Roth.
Okay.
Cam Werf's the other way.
Cam falls into that.
But Cam comes in the opposite way. He needs to have a good day in Frankfurt to get his spot for Worlds, and then he will come and line up.
And then he will come and race Roth. So let's play this race out like we think Cam Werf will be there. So and Joe Skipper is going to be there, right?
Yes, he is, definitely.
This is one for me. I love following Joe Skipper's YouTube too. He is fit right now. He has been working hard. I think we're going to see old Joe kind of come back this year.
I hope so. I would love nothing more.
He's running well. My hottest take of this entire thing is Joe Skipper, top tier for this race. He's going to be battling for that podium. Big Joe guy. I love Joe. I think in Roth is where he's going to kind of pound his chest and be like, I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
Is anybody going to veto me on that one? Is anybody strong?
I like where we're going to go with this, and I think if we're going to throw him up there, then we have to throw Mr. who just did a 2:30 down in Australia.
Matt Hansen.
Right there with
2:30, 21. Crazy.
Yeah.
Matt does well in the heat too. I mean, he's if this becomes a hot day, it's going to become who can survive the run, and who better than Matt Hansen to go out there and run down a whole field of short course guys.
We're going. You got to protect the distance. No, okay. I mean, Blake, he's coming off his last Ironman win here.
But that was Austria.
That's
right.
That's too strong. That's way too strong.
Veto a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else we want to throw up here in the top shelf?
Belinda, who jumps
out? What did Bishop
out?
come last year? Didn't Bishop come second last year?
Yes, he did.
I would put him up there.
Yep,
definitely put Bishop up there. He's been training really well. He had a good race. A good 70.3 podium last week.
How about home country? Jan Stratman, I think, needs to be up there.
Yeah.
Stratman's got Stratman for the win, I think, would be a bit surprising. But if he's second or third, I'm not shocked at all. That's
a good point.
Well, he was fourth last year, so just missed it. And he's in good form. He's not injured. And I liked his latest Instagram post that he put up that said he's not doing anything magical. He's not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's just putting in the time.
Yep.
Not experimenting with any stupidity.
Yeah.
And just
he's
getting
one of the
the
most
work
consistent,
done.
solid people.
Yeah.
He is, and he's smart. He's a very smart guy. I think that favors in Roth. He knows how to race it. He gets to probably sleep in his own bed, close enough to sleep in his own bed. It's a short trip for him. So
it is.
Polly, keep that. Let's do a debut.
I was just thinking because you have Laidlow, who's not really raced this year, who's familiar with the distance. I don't know if we're going to put him in the top tier here. I don't think he's qualified.
Third tier and just go debut people.
I have a hard time with this one. If we could have a tier that was in between the two, that's probably where I'd put Sam.
Yeah. I think we're big on if you haven't done, give me something. What have you done for me lately? Podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Go Laidlow too. Like make another second tier and then the third tier make those like the debutantes.
No, I think Laidlow can't be put with guys like Aaron Royal right now. I just don't think so. I
agree. I think he's a 3 tier.
If Laidlow goes out there and has a day that's like again, he will kill them. Yeah, I mean he will, and they'll hurt at the end. And who knows? He might be swim bike front still. I know. I just watched a video where he was like super disappointed in his bike from some weird distance that he did at a local race, and still was like normalizing. I could be getting it wrong, like 3:30 or something. I mean, the guy can still bike. It's not like he just woke up this year and all of a sudden can't ride a bicycle.
Can't ride a bike anymore. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure his swimming's fine. He'll swim front.
I wouldn't put him any lower than the second. No way.
Okay.
I like this. We just keep him here, and then we do the new kids on the block.
All right,
yeah.
And then this is where we're gonna have to. Well, okay, so
it's gonna be chock-a-block. This one.
How healthy is Henry Skuman right now?
Yeah,
this is. I mean, it's.
I think it's got to be Sam and Fred.
Sam and Fred.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling with the newbies. I think Fred Funk will come in knowing exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Fred's methodical and he's German. He's.
I think Fred's way above Sam in this race. I think if Sam beats Fred out here, Fred had to mess up. Something had to go wrong for Fred to lay low.
Is Fred debuting? Is Fred debuting?
Yep.
Yeah, but
Fred's so many. So many days.
Really? Okay, he's the new kid on the block. Then we're throwing him down. You got to give us something at the distance.
Fred's my favorite for the new guys on the block. I'll take him over all the short course guys.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Do we flip this then? Do we put Sam underneath the new kids on the block? Do we flip this category?
Yes, I think so.
Okay,
that's my opinion.
Hey,
that's not out of disrespect to Sam. That's not out of disrespect to Sam. It's only out of
Belinda. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
we didn't have Jackie Herring in our top tier at Cars.
I know we missed that in Cars. Now, Belinda, if Sam goes out here in podiums, you can repost this and be like, "These are the 3 dumbest guys I've ever met." Picks wise, this is
all right. This is good. I like it. I like this.
But I just don't
Sammy,
think
I've got a soft spot for Sammy. He's like one of the nicest guys in the sport.
I genuinely
adore him.
Yeah.
Did you put Aaron Royal in New Kids on the Block?
He's debuting.
He has not raced a full.
He's debuting, Errol. Same with Vincent Louis. They're all debuting.
Yep.
We've got so many men who are great athletes over the middle distance and obviously Olympians, and they're all debuting over this distance. So it's such an unknown.
Out of the 3, Henry, Aaron, and Vince, let's take away Fred out of there because I think Fred beats. Who of those 3 beat? So who's the top one out of those 3? Belinda. Who are you taking out of those 3?
Oh my God. I really don't know. And this is unusual. Normally I have a fairly strong opinion,
It's
but
a toss-up.
I just don't know. I don't know how prepared Aaron's been. He put a post up today saying that he definitely is not going into this race
That's not
overdone.
good.
If anything, it's going to be the other direction.
Yeah.
Which he quoted the great Sebastian Kinley, who said that if you feel like you've done the work, then you're coming in too hot. So maybe it's the marathon, and it also depends how fast this bike ride is. Because I think guys like Aaron Royal are a little exposed on this bike, because obviously I've watched this race for years now, and when those lead men, and he will be out of the water in the front group, so we know he's going to be in that lead group. They hit it so hard, and I think it shocks a lot of the athletes.
You think Vincent will be able to ride with them?
He didn't
ride very strong in San Fran.
No,
he did not ride very strong in San Fran.
And this is the thing: if he does, what does that mean for the marathon? Is he just going to be
walking at some point? Yeah.
All right, I think for the next tier here, I'm looking at
these are pros.
Like Arnott, Streets, Werf,
crowd favorites,
Chevro.
Yeah,
crowd favorites here.
We already did that last time we did podcast favorites. I'm almost want to say the boys. Did I say the girls are back in town or the boys are back in town? No, I think it's the boys are back in town type of deal.
Boys are back in town. It is. Yeah. I like it.
Who would love to see Dreets go? I would love to, like a top 5 for Andres would be amazing.
Just a little. It's Dreets. Dreets.
Thank you, Belinda. I need to just reference Belinda on every single name I say here.
We need like an in-house pronunciation person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Cam.
Also, that guy's legs.
Chevro.
He can push. God, he can push Watts on the bike.
Or Moody. I think Moody. So
I've got
in this category.
Yeah,
I've got a very
I'm
glad you did too. So I think Moody is a big outsider, but I love the guy. I actually think he's a great cyclist, a very good a smart cyclist. I think he can have a way better day than some of the guys in this block. I think I'll put out there. I think Jack Moody beats Sam Laidlow in Roth. That's my pick. I know. Sam Laidlow's going to go win this race, and I'm just going to look like an idiot. But
uncomfortable silence from that.
I think Jack has a great day in Roth. Not just a good day. I think he has a great day.
Now, is Chevro in that tier? We got about 3.5 minutes. Is Chevro in that tier?
I think Chevro's going to have. I think he's going to be our little dark horse, so to speak. Yeah. I know there's several of the men that we've picked that actually have, and this is what I love about Felix and Roth, and when he writes up these contracts for athletes, Felix wants them to excel. He wants world record times. And so there is a handful of these athletes that have got their own little special bonuses for breaking 2:30. And Chevro is one of them.
Is he one of them? Yeah. He can run. He can. He's he's.
Matty Hansen's another. So I think we're going to find these guys, even if they're not right up the pointy end of the field, they will run their little hearts out because they know that there's a bonus waiting for them at the end.
It's really a shame it's not a little cooler. If it was like 10 degrees cooler, I would love to see a Hansen or a Chevro go close to Messias's 226 or really give 226 a shot. That would be amazing to see it happen in Roth. Yeah.
I think based on Finn's recent win, we have to put him in this tier. Like we can't put him in the bottom tier. Especially he's in our second tier for Frankfurt. We would look so dumb. I mean, more dumb than we already look.
Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely think he should be up there.
Go? Bottom.
Why? What did Tor come in? I haven't looked at his scouting report.
Tor's tough, man. He's coming off. I mean, but here's the thing:
Svenningsen in my mind.
He's Rasmus. He's Rasmus. He's 100% Rasmus, man. The guy trains the house down. He's an amazing cyclist in his training. It's just going to be. I want to see him break through and have that big time day on a big stage, so we can all just start picking him for races consistently. He just hasn't done it yet. Yeah. But I love the guy. I mean, the way he trains, he seems like a fun, young, big energy guy. So I'd love to see him have a good day.
We're going to burn the house down.
I'd put Matthias Pedersen higher, and obviously a fellow Dane. I'd put him higher than Tor.
Great cyclist, right? Yeah.
And shout out Zach for that Shrek video. That was awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I actually wrote it in my notes that if we don't talk about Zach Cooper, I will bring him up. He needs to be placed. I don't care where we place him, that was the greatest race announcement I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
So funny.
And he's a quick runner, it looks like.
Yeah, he's a good.
Yeah, he had a solid race at Ironman Austria, sixth place, I think. So
yeah, that's great. He's on the up and up for sure. I mean, I think we're going to be talking about him a lot more next year. This year we should be talking about him. Next year, I think he's going to be a competitor.
All right, everybody, that is 28 minutes 57 seconds before the edits. We nailed it. Challenge Roth power rankings.
Belinda crushed it on her first pocket. There you go. Just nailed it time wise.
Loved it. I knew I would though. I knew I'd love it. Not that I knew I'd crush it.
No, we knew you would though. This
has been a lot of fun. This has been a lot of fun. I'm going to stop the recording, and if everyone can just stay on for a minute.